Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. And if you haven't been here before, my name's Jake and I'm running the channel Progress is Everything. My channel is dedicated to freelancing, small business and personal finance. I cover tips, tricks and hacks and how-tos to do with freelancing, as well as running small businesses and the income, tax and other things to do with personal finance for freelancers and small business owners. If it's your first time here, consider subscribing, and today we're going to get straight into the video, which is 10 insights from my experience on freelancing for corporate businesses. Before we jump into the tips, just a quick insight. I've freelanced for corporates mostly in London, the UK, and in the tech and finance industries. So let's jump into the 10 insights. Insight number 1, large headcounts. For many corporates, they tend to have large workforces. That means you may have to deal with many different departments to get anything done. If you haven't worked with a multinational organization or corporation, then you might find this a little bit unusual. For example, when I worked at Barclays Bank, it took them over 2 weeks to do all of their due diligence and checks, mandatory checks, to do with new joiners. So you have to expect that with the larger headcount, that things are a little bit slower and things take a little bit longer. Insight number 2, with this larger headcount, you also won't get to know everybody. That's okay if you're working in a corporate, it's okay not to get to know everybody. But as a slight tip, it's important to understand the organizational structure so that you don't say the wrong thing to the wrong person. For example, in the cafeteria over lunch, or even just having a drink after work. So be especially careful if you're being critical or negative in any manner, because if you say it to the wrong person, it could easily get back to HR or to your manager in some way and could adversely impact your freelance employment. Insight number 3 about working for a corporation, a large corporate. You may just be working on one small project or one large project, but overall you might just be working on that one thing. Large organizations and corporations tend to have many different projects going on at the same time. As a freelancer, you may just be hired to do one aspect of one project. Don't worry if you don't have all the information about different projects or different parts of the organization. You've been hired pretty much in most cases to do one particular thing, and it might indeed just be project based. In that regard, I would suggest enjoy the time that you can doing that particular project if you can, and know that you won't always get to know everything about the organization that you're working for. Insight number 4 is I found this at a lot of corporates that there's actually less accountability. Specifically when you're working with people that have been in roles for many years in very large corporations, logistically speaking, it can be quite hard to track what everyone actually does and is responsible for, and also sign off of particular things, particularly like if you think about a project and there's lots of different layers of management, it may take a long time, sometimes weeks, even months, even years, to sign off particular items or projects. So that reduces the amount of individual accountability, especially at the lower levels. If you're a freelancer coming in and you've worked in startups, there's pivots or changes of direction very quickly. That might take some getting used to. The slower pace of work at corporates might take some getting used to if you've been working only at startups. One benefit for you as a freelancer is you won't always be expected to deliver work very quickly. Obviously, this is somewhat dependent on the organization you're working for, but in general, in my experience, working at different large corporations, generally the delivery time of work tends to be slower than working at very fast-paced fintechs, for example. The 5th insight is, in some cases, contracts can actually be quite a long time. My contract at Travelex, the international finance brokerage company, I think it began being 4 months, but in the end may have been 8 or 9 months from memory. Contracts at very small startups or emerging startups might indeed be quite short. I had a 2-month contract, for example, at a fintech firm, which was just covering a short period of holiday. Another reason is you may be covering maternity coverage, or bigger organizations might want to test out a role, so they might put it as a 6 or 9 month contract, or even a fixed term contract, or a day rate for 6 months before they make that person perm, or indeed they might be just checking out whether the project or department or that role will become profitable over time. Insight number 6, in some cases you can actually earn more money. Large corporates tend to have large budgets. In this case, you may be able to negotiate a high salary, or you may already have on offer a high daily, hourly, weekly or monthly rate, whatever rate you're working to. This can be really great because you've got the interesting notion that the accountability and delivery schedules are a little bit more lax, they're a little bit more flexible, as well as having a higher rate. Just some of the benefits for working for corporate clients. Insight number 7 is about office space. Sometimes the office space at companies or larger companies, these corporates, is fantastic. You can have things like rooftop bars, you can have restaurants and cafes, table tennis, foosball, free food, beer Fridays, the list goes on. The reason for this is they want to keep their employees, as well as the contractors and freelancers, happy. This can be a brilliant bonus for working on site, that you get access to these incredible offices. I've experienced this at several companies, working out of both glamorous co-working spaces such as WeWork, as well as new buildings such as buildings opposite Google in London. And it's really interesting to see and experience these new corporate offices, or at least I find it interesting. Also, if you're interested in those types of things like playing table tennis or foosball, or in some cases pool and snooker, darts, etc., you can find that often in these corporate offices. Insight number 8 is they look fantastic on your resume or portfolio, website, whatever it is. They look great. Putting a name that most people will recognize is an added seal of approval. If you're thinking that working at a corporate isn't a good idea, just remember it'll be on your CV or resume forever. That is an asset for your freelancing career forever. That's really, I think, a really good thing to do and something to aim for. Because it's going to be on your resume or your CV or your website or portfolio, whatever you want to call it, or wherever you put your work, it will be that corporate or that big company. Let's say you work for Google for 3 months, that will be on your CV, or that will be there for you to show prospective employers or businesses forever. It's going to help you essentially for many years to come. Number 9 is, specifically if you're working with gaining budget, those corporates will give you a bigger budget. I work in marketing, and specifically online marketing and strategy, and for me working at bigger corporates is more exciting because you have more money to play with. The more money that you have, the more options and the more interesting that strategy can be. Insight number 10 is the politics and structure of the businesses and cultures can vary wildly. Company cultures are normally dictated from the top. When you start working at a company culture, you might find that it's very different from other places you've worked. Specifically, some corporate cultures can be quite political. I'm going to do more videos about how you can manage internal politics and freelancer politics in other videos, so make sure you check those out. Some bonus tips for freelancing in corporates are: try to be professional at all times. Try to deliver when you say you're going to deliver. Try to be the best you can be. Try to be social and get to know your team and other team members. And try and be generally positive. So there you go, 10 insights and a couple of bonus tips on freelancing in the corporate space. Just to let you know guys, I have lots of other videos and playlists on freelancing and small business. I've got playlists on pricing and how you can increase your pricing and earn more money. I've got freelancing playlists on how to get more and more work. on how to optimize your CV and online platforms. So I have tips, tricks and hacks all about freelancing, small business and personal finance. If you're interested in this content, make sure you subscribe, like the video. If you have any friends that this could help, make sure to share it. And also, if you want to find out more about me and find exclusive content, make sure you hit me up on progressiseverything@gmail.com or visit my website progressiseverything.com. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you've got any experiences of working in corporates or in a corporate environment, make sure to share these experiences below in the comments. Remember, your experiences and your comments can help others in our community. If you have any questions or queries, you can always email me at progressiseverything@gmail.com and I'll try my best to get back to you. If you are going to send me any queries or questions, make sure to just do it in 1 to 2 paragraphs. Make sure to make it quite concise and clear, and I'll try to get back to you within a couple of days. If you're interested in learning more about freelancing, I will be offering courses, and you can check out my courses on my website. They're very low cost, and the goal is that you'll be able to double your freelance income, or if you're going from employment to freelancing, the goal is for you to double that income, as well as reducing stress and increasing your personal freedom. The cost of these courses is very competitive. I'm not looking to become a millionaire from these courses. Instead, I'm looking to help you guys and to add some value to you. You can check out those courses in the link in the description. If the particular course that you're interested in hasn't gone live, make sure to let us know what course you would like specifically, and I'm sure I'll get around to creating that course in the future. In these videos, I'm doing it from my experience, but over time, I'm speaking to a lot of you guys over email and in the comments section, and I'm learning from you as well. If you have any experiences you want to share with our community, make sure to pop it in the comments below. If you've got any questions or queries, feel free to email directly on progressiseverything@gmail.com. You can also interact with me and sign up to my mailing list at progressiseverything@gmail.com, where I provide more insightful tricks, tips and hacks over email. Don't worry, I don't bombard people. I tend to send 1 email per week, so you can subscribe there. Alright guys, I think that's everything for today. Make sure to check out my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you check out my other videos for tips, tricks and hacks, as well as other pros and cons.